One. I'm Yasmine Loy. I am a hormone and gut health coach for those of you that do not know me. And I just want to say welcome to another session of Not Just Hormones Live. So I'm live here today on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you are watching live, let me know that you're watching live and let me know where you're watching from as well. If you are catching the replay, just type replay in the comments just so that I know you stopped by, you've watched the session for today. So I'm going to be doing these sessions weekly, and it's a topic that I'm going to come across every single day to do with PMS, hormone imbalances that we may face on a daily basis. And today's topic is I'm eating healthier, taking supplements, exercising. So why do I still feel exhausted? So if this sounds familiar to you, let me know because it definitely sounds familiar to me. When I wrote the title for this, I was like, yeah, this is just about me. And I'm going to maybe touch on a bit of my experience as to how I have tried to overcome eating healthier, taking supplements and exercising while having PMOS, while having fibroids, endometriosis. And we're going to have that talk today. So just like always, if you have any questions, please let me know, pop them into the comments, and we are going to get started. So I'm just going to have a quick conversation with you, and I kind of said the problem. So when I look at weekly, I think about what is the problem? Now, is it a problem? Can we say it's a problem? What is the problem? So I think one of the biggest frustrations that we have that is causing an issue is that we are often told to just focus on one thing. So in my circumstances with PMOS, which used to be called PCOS, I always got told lose weight. And that was always the answer that I got. Lose weight. You have high blood pressure, but if you lose weight, or you have insulin resistance because of your PCOS. But if you lose weight, and I don't know if many of you know my journey, but I lost the weight. About 5 years, I lost a lot of weight. I lost over 100 pounds. But a lot of the symptoms that I stopped having started to come back, and some of the symptoms that I was complaining about disappeared. So that did not work for me. But it does help with a lot of symptoms and a lot of things. The next thing is to cut carbs. So we see things like that all over. We see so many things on social media, and some things are right, some things are wrong. But one thing I want to put across is there's not everything fits everybody, and we need to know what some of our symptoms are and what we have before we are able to deal with them. So cutting carbs, cutting dairy, going vegan, it may not be the answer to that as well. Exercise more. So we've got so many different things. Some people say do yoga, some people say do Pilates, some people say do weight training, running, walking. As long as you do your 10,000 steps a day, everything will be fine. Another one is about taking supplements. So the supplements is another thing. A lot of people want to go down the holistic route. They don't want to stay on prescription medication. So they look at supplements that they can take. But what we need to remember is that our hormones don't work in isolation. There's always something linking to something, causing a chain reaction. And we need to look at the beginning, look at the middle, look at the end, see how it all connects. What I often found is sometimes I would take prescription medicine, which would then give me a side effect for something else, or I could take a supplement, which could then flare up another area of my hormones. So we just have to remember that there is no wrong or right way to do things, but we have to remember our body is connected and we have a connected system, and that connected system isn't the same for everybody. The connected system, everybody's is different. So we need to have clarity on our own bodies and what's affecting us. Having a title of high blood pressure or insulin resistance, it's not an answer because everybody's high blood pressure is a different reading. Everybody's insulin resistance, whether you're diagnosed with insulin resistance or not, we all react differently to insulin. We all react differently to the food that we're taking in and how it converts into carbs and how long it will take for that carb to give us energy that day, if it does, in our system. And that's one of the reasons why so many women feel like they're just working incredibly hard on their bodies, on their mental health, on their overall well-being, and they're not seeing any changes that they expect to see. And what we see that goes around on social media, or it's not as easy as what the doctors may tell us. So I have three things written down, three things that I always look at. Now, if you follow me, especially on other social media platforms, you know that I do always touch on four things. So I usually touch on nutrition, which is what we're going to talk about today, lifestyle habits, and gut health. So I put the lifestyle habits together. I normally say nutrition, gut health, movement, and mental health, but I've put lifestyle habits together with movement and mental health. So we're going to touch on three things on today's one. And when I work with women, I don't just look at the conditions that you have, whether you've been diagnosed or not. And I don't just look at hormones. I look at the key areas. And the first one I always look at is nutrition. Are we giving our bodies what we actually need? And the answer is not as straightforward. It's not a yes or no answer. So we have to look at, what are we eating? Are we eating enough protein for our bodies? Now, when we look at nutrition, we often think of a one size fits all. So sometimes in the community, I might see women say, how much protein should I have a day? Or how much water should I be drinking? But there's no one size fits all answer. It doesn't work like that. There's no one saying, oh, this is how many grams of protein you need. We need to know who you are, how your body's made up, your height, your weight, to be able to explain what's your lifestyle like. There's just no one size fits all. And that's something that I want you to remember, is there's no one size fits all for us. Do we have enough fiber? Are we taking enough fiber? We hear that word, but we don't hear it as much as protein. We don't hear it as much as carbs. And fiber is just as important. We need the fiber to get a lot of the waste out of our bodies. Healthy fats. So we often have in our mind that we have to be fat-free, by the fat-free yogurts, by the fat-free meals. But healthy fats are really good for you, and healthy fats is something that we do want to incorporate into our bodies. And we just need to make sure that we are getting enough nutrients. There's no point in taking on food, eating food, cutting out on food if it isn't meeting your daily requirements, because you're going to get tired, you're going to get weak, and it will affect your hormones. It will affect how you feel overall. I actually worked with a woman once, and eating more, she actually lost weight and improved her symptoms. So it's not just about saying, I'm going to do 1,200 calories. We need to have an actual idea of what nutrition our body needs. The second one is our lifestyle. So we often hear things like high cortisol levels. Are we sleeping enough? Are we moving enough? What's our routine like? In the world that we live in, it's go, go, go. Let's go to work, drop the kids to school, do this, do that, run to appointments, be a PA for yourself, be a PA for your kids, be a PA for work. And there's so many things going on, and we don't realize what our habits are until we start tracking them. And it's so important to track what your cycles are like, what your sleep patterns are like, what could be triggering your stress, what's causing your stress. So those are the type of things that we need to look at when we are working. Oh, okay. Sorry, let me just have a look, because comments aren't coming up on here. So I'm just getting some notifications of comments. So I will have a look at the comments in a minute. And our routine. So we may have the perfect meal plan. I meal plan. I have a busy family. I meal plan. But sometimes we are not sleeping enough. Sometimes the meal plan isn't working. It's not working for the nutrition that we need to take in. I have a young baby, and he still keeps me up at night, but I still have to go to bed and wake up the same time every day. I maybe running on stress. You may find that you are constantly in survival mode. For me, Saturdays, I just can't get out of bed. I literally do everything from my bed on a Saturday, and it's not until 3 or 4 o'clock you'll see me come out of my bed. But then on Sunday, it's go, go, go again. So we do need to track our lifestyle habits and bear in mind that might be affecting our overall hormones at the same time. And the third thing, the last thing that I'm going to say is your gut health. So I talk about gut health all the time. If you know me, you know I love to talk about gut health. I could go on about that all the time, but we do need to bear in mind that there's so much scientific evidence now about the gut health connection, not with just our mind, but also our hormones as well. It can help to reduce inflammation. So a lot of our conditions that we have is linked to inflammation. And if we can take into consideration what we're eating, what we're putting into our body, the stress loads that we have, that can reduce our inflammation. And the good old blood sugar. We hear this blood sugar. We don't track it. We don't track it unless we have to track it. Are we aware of what we're putting in? There's a lot of artificial sugars going around. I saw a dentist with my daughter because I can't work out why she has so many teeth problems. And he basically said, the way things are made now, they weren't made 20 years ago. So even though we often associate drinks and sweets with sugar, there's a lot of foods that have added sugar, and we have to see the knock-on effects, and one of them is through dental as well. And we need to remember that the nutrition, the nutrients that we need in our body is absorbed within our gut lining. And if we don't have a healthy gut, we will find that those nutrition doesn't get absorbed in there. We need our gut health to be in a good way. I often think about it as an MOT for a car. You're not going to pass MOT. Your gut is not going to pass the MOT for your hormones, release any excess hormones to keep those nutrients in if we don't have very good gut health. And we just need to bear gut health in mind. So maybe that's a topic I'm going to talk about another day. So I'm going to stop there. So what I'm asking is, when we say what's wrong, what's going on, why are we having these migraines, why are we having these inflammations, and we're not getting the answers from the doctors, we need to take a step back and say, what is my body actually trying to tell me? Let's track some of those symptoms. Let's look at what we're doing, and then let's try and connect the dots and see what we can do to help reduce some of those symptoms that we're having. And when we understand the symptoms that we are having, because we may not even realize that a symptom is a symptom, it's a migraine that we've always had, it's bloating that we always get, it's that restless leg that we get every single night before we go to bed. But if we are aware of those symptoms and we don't take them as, oh, that happens all the time, oh, that's normal, we can then look at what we can do to change those symptoms. So if you would like help understanding your own symptoms, I have created a free community where I talk all about hormones, gut health, nutrition. We also talk about ways that we can get support, whether it be at home, whether it be at work, to help us deal with what we're going through at this time. It's called the PMOS and Hormone Health Hub. It is a hub not just for women with PMOS. We do talk about other hormone symptoms because they're all connected, right? They all relate. We all have symptoms that interconnect. So there'll be some educational information, some tips, some support in there as well. But if you would like something more personalized, I do have my PMOS hormone and clarity check. So if you DM me the word clarity, I can send that link over to you. So on here, I am not able to see any messages, but I can see some notifications on my phone, which I'm not going to check now, but I will have a check afterwards. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me live today, and I will see you next week. So especially for the month of August, it's going to be every Friday at 1 p.m. instead of me alternating the weeks, which is what I was doing before. And yes, I'll be live here, wherever you're watching me, and then on the other social media platforms as well. So enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next week.